Good morning, once again, Reed Spring students. I'm here again to go over some of those News ELA articles that Miss Chastain has been pushing out through Canvas. This one is on an article about esports and pro gamers. So I actually heard about this last week on the radio that there is such a thing as competitive, paid, professional sports for video gamers, and they even have like coaches and players and people who do specialty things, and they compete against people from around the world, and they have like championships like they do in other sports. So for those of you who like video gaming, yet another thing that's a possible profession out there when you grow up. So we're going to go and start with this article. This is called Esports Camp Provides Summer Fun for Budding Pro Gamers. This was published 2 Augusts ago in 2018. This is an image of kids from the North 3rd Street Gamers and Julian Krinsky's camps aren't out doing potato sack races. They're sharpening their game skills, many with the hopes of making a living playing video games. Okay, dokie. This is taking place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here we go. While some parents send their kids off to summer camp to run and play outside, others have plunked down more than $4,000 to send their kids off to play video games. For 2 weeks this summer, about 36 kids from around the country, and even some from as far away as Asia, came to Philadelphia. They sit in front of computer screens and play and learn all about the esports industry at a summer camp. It is run by North 3rd Street Gamers and Julian Krinsky's camps. A life in video games. Trinity Wright goes to the camp. She's from Denver. She started playing video games because she was bullied at school by other classmates. Her online gaming offered her a safe space where she felt free and alive and did not suffer the same social anxiety that made making friends at school so difficult. In video games, Wright, 14, found a life and perhaps a future. Her dream? To be a professional gamer one day. It's our thing now. It's our clique, she says. It's like being on a football team or a baseball team, or being an actor. If you're a gamer and an aspiring esports player, you are almost guaranteed to find other kids that are interested in the same thing. Another camper, Oliver Whitehouse, 16, is from North Carolina. He says he used to like tennis because of the strategy, but he soon found out there is also a strategy in video games. It is also a lot more comfortable inside during the summer. When it's 100 degrees with 97% humidity, I don't want to be out there playing tennis for 4 hours, he says. With this, I get to play something that requires strategy without killing myself in the heat. Whitehouse's daily schedule during the school year: homework, food, video games. So far, we've met 2 people, and they've given their reasons for why they like esports. The first girl was like, I'm kind of shy, I'm kind of reserved, I don't meet people who are into the same things as me, and so this gives me an opportunity to find and meet those people who are interested in the same things that I am. This other guy was kind of an athlete. He was a tennis player, and rather than be practicing in the heat for 4 hours, like he says, with 97% humidity, I'd rather play video games indoors, because there's also strategy involved in that, just like tennis, but you're not going to die of heat exhaustion. So 2 people have given their reasons why they like playing video games and trying to do it professionally. Career aspirations. So this is going to talk about more about how this can become a career. He plays scrims or scrimmages for hours into the night. Like Wright, he also hopes to one day become a professional gamer. Scrims are necessary building blocks in the evolution as a gamer, no different from shooting free throws late into the night. My parents understand that it's definitely a career path now, and it can get you into colleges, says Whitehouse. Former Boise, I'm sorry, Ugh. From Boise State to Western Kentucky, there are more than 90 schools with varsity esports programs. Together, they offer a total of about $7 million in scholarships. There are also professional playing and coaching opportunities for the very best gamers. It's so aspirational as a fan, says Nate Nanzer. He's the commissioner of the popular 12-team Overwatch League. Anyone can play. You just need talent, he says. It doesn't matter if I'm a boy or a girl, where I'm from, how big I am, how fast I am. You need to be great at the game. You need to be smart and have great hand-eye coordination, he said. That inclusiveness is an attraction for many kids. Some would be shocked that kids are devoting so much time to video games. But in Philadelphia, we found a group of bright, dedicated, and passionate kids. They are breaking the stereotype that kid gamers are just lazy, mean slackers. This year, the World Health Organization classified gaming disorder as a form of addiction, to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other interests and daily activities. President Trump has also said, "I'm hearing more and more people saying the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts." The young gamers called that fake news. I don't think there's another social group that's as welcome as gamers, says 16-year-old Nathaniel Brooks. He is from Chicago. The notion that gaming is toxic or makes you a bad person just isn't true. The 1990s ideas that video games rot your brain or make you want to shoot someone is just absurd. Participation decline among traditional sports. Adam Denton is a pro gamer who plays for a pro Overwatch team. He signed his first pro esports contract at 16. He is now 18 years old and says he spends about 10 hours a day playing video games. Participation of children between the ages of 7 and 17 in traditional sports was down 5.8% in 2017. According to an annual study conducted by the National Sporting Goods Association, the Sports and Fitness Industry Association estimates a 20% decline in youth football participation since 2009. There are almost 1 million fewer kids in little leagues than there were 20 years ago. Participation numbers for traditional sports are dropping, but the number of kids playing and watching electronic ones is soaring. This week, it was reported that people spend a whopping 574 million hours watching Fortnite on the streaming platform Twitch. Next weekend, a video game tournament will take place at the Barclays Center. It is an arena in New York City. The game tournament is sold out. In 2 years, the number of people who play and follow competitive video games is expected to double in size to more than 600 million. Jeff Wilpon owns the New York baseball team, the Mets. Last year, through Sterling Ventures VC, he paid a reported $20 million for the New York franchise in the Overwatch League, the next big market. Unlike baseball teams he owns, Wilpon's New York Excelsior was the top seed in the playoffs. They were a favorite to win the title in the Overwatch League's first year of play. "We think there's a real market for this to be wildly successful," Wilpon told the Daily News when he first bought them. "The demographics are very compelling. More women play this than watch baseball. The millennial and Gen Z generations is also something we'd like to get into and understand them a little better. It's pretty clear to me there's a huge audience of people between the ages of 13 and 30 who serve our core audience. They want to watch esports. and they're sort of disengaging from the traditional media in traditional sports, or maybe never engaging with it. Nancer said, in the future, I think esports is going to stand right alongside traditional sports. I think in the not too distant future, someone in New York comes home from work and picks up the family to go to an NYXL game as easily as they would a Mets or Yankees game, provided the kids can pry themselves from their own video games. Okay, so that does it for the article. Pretty much just telling you about esports and kind of giving you some of the pros and cons that people talk about um, when it comes to health, addiction to video games, um, but that it's also becoming wildly popular, that some kids are finding it's easier to fit in, that sort of thing. So there's good things to it and there's bad things to it. They're not really taking a side, they're just kind of informing you of the topic. Number one on the quiz part. Which section from the article would be most important to include in a summary of the article? So if you're talking about the main things that occurred in this article and you're trying to summarize it, what would be the most important to include? The most important detail from the article. Trinity Wright goes to the camp. She is from Denver. She started playing video games because she was bullied at school by other classmates. B. He says he used to like tennis because of the strategy, but he soon found there is also a strategy in video games. C. Adam Denton is a pro gamer for the Pro Overwatch team. He signed his first pro esports contract at 16. Or D. Participation numbers for traditional sports are dropping, but the number of kids playing and watching electronic ones is soaring. So which one is not giving you like a specific detail and is giving you more of an overarching understanding of what that article was about? Number 2, read the following sentence from the article. For her, online gaming offered her a safe space where she felt free and alive and did not suffer the same social anxiety that made making friends at school so difficult. How does this detail develop the author's central idea? So first you have to determine what the author's central idea is of the article. What was the main point they were trying to make about online gaming? That's step 1. Number 2, you have to decide how that quote develops the author's central idea. How does it support the author's main point? A, it shows that esports could be responsible for ending social anxiety. B, it shows one reason for the rise of esports among modern youth. C, it explains why esports are still less popular than traditional sports. D, it illustrates that esports will soon pass traditional sports in terms of popularity. Number 3, what is the most likely reason the author included the statistics about college esports programs? So remember they talked that there's certain colleges giving scholarships to people for esports. So I think they mentioned that like one school is giving is up to as much as $7 million in scholarship money. So why do you think that they would include that detail in this article? A, to provide examples of what the best esports programs are doing to succeed. B, to argue that esports are draining resources from traditional sports at the college level. C, to illustrate how widespread acceptance and participation in esports has become. Or D, to help readers understand what has caused such monumental growth in esports participation. Number 4, which answer choice accurately characterizes Jeff Wilpon's reaction to esports? A, he thinks that people over the age of 30 will likely have limited interest in esports. B, he believes esports are already drawing viewers away from traditional sports. C, he argues that women are the reason esports have become so successful. D, he feels esports can have great success, but only if the traditional sports decline somewhat. So in order to answer that question, you need to know how that guy feels about esports. So I would use Control F. I would type in that guy's last name, Will Pawn. I would hit enter. ON. There we go. He is in here 5 times. So I would go back to this part of the article where he is. I would go back here. He is mentioned 3 times in that article. And then twice in the questions. So I would go back to that little section here. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 paragraphs. And I would use that to help me answer how he feels about it. Okay. Once again, I hope this video was useful to you guys. I hope you guys are keeping up with your articles that are being pushed out through Canvas, and I will see you next time for the next article.